This is Master Within, and you're watching the Master Within live show. Please wait while we begin the session in a few more minutes. Till then, sit back, relax, and let us awaken our mastery within.
Hello, welcome to Master Within show. Before I start anything, please let me know if I'm audible. Please tell me in the comment section if I'm audible or not, or in the private chat. Yes, thank you. So today's topic is a quite queer one. Our topic is formality versus normality. Please don't confuse with chemistry, because we are not studying chemistry here. By formality, what we mean is the formal way of life, the formal official way of life. And by normality, now you can guess, it is the normal human way of life. We will delve deeper into the subject, and we will also explore the multifarious dimensions and all the causalities of this of this frame. Excuse me. So before I say anything, I would like to add our other member, Reverend Vivaswan Chakraborty, in the panel, and we will proceed our talk like a conversation, not like a discussion, not like an open speech. It'll be more like a discussion, a conversation, and I'm going to add Vivaswan Chakraborty, and let us move forward.
Hello, Shobit. Jai Guru.
Yes,
Am I
hi,
audible?
hello, Jai Guru.
Am I
I
audible?
think your network is glitching a bit.
Am I audible, Shobit?
Yes, you are audible. Yes, a little bit
Okay.
higher volume would help.
Okay. It is better.
Yes, but I think some sound is coming, and you are
Okay.
glitching. Yes.
Give me just a while. I hope this is better.
Yes. You can start.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you, Jai Guru, everyone. Good evening. Welcome
Jai
to the Master Vision live show. So today we are going to discuss formality versus normality, as Sovik just mentioned. So I'm a bit struggling with the internet as usual since I'm not in my home. But Sovik keep me letting know if that is fine or if that is not fine, or it's going, disturbances coming to this. Apologies for that. So before that, I welcome everyone to the live session once again. And as Sovik just mentioned, today we are going to discuss normality versus formality in a very different and fun way. And once again, do not confuse it with chemistry or any of that, because this is not, we are not going to discuss science. We are going to discuss science of the human behavior, SIGN science, not SCIEN science, because what a human being should be, how normal a human being should be. And that's all. So to begin with, why this topic? It is very important to discuss this topic from the light of an ideal, because these days we are living in competitive days. We are all official, we are working, it's digital, we are meeting more people through online mode, and we are becoming a lot formal. When I say formal, it means we are more official, and we are losing that human beauty of human behavior and the sense of oneness that we used to have in general. So, and we need to understand this. This is important because whatever the time has come, whenever we meet someone, we greet them formally. In our workplace, we try to maintain a very formal relationship with calculative. And by calculative, what I mean is we are only looking at what is benefiting us. Is the person who is in front or working with me or around me, is he getting any benefits, or is he or she the person that I've been working with? Am I getting a raise in my company when I'm working? Shall I maintain a relationship to get a raise? Shall I maintain a friendship to get a raise, to get some good stat in my workplace, things like that. But in the course of all these, what we're losing is the sense of oneness. What we're losing is the attachment that human beings should have. Rather, we see more attachment in animals. People are, having dogs as pets. Why? Because they feel lonely and they love that. When the dog cuddles them, and when they see, I have heard people saying dogs are better than human beings because they have the attachment. Pets are more better. They are therapy. They are terms called as therapy pets. The sweet, cute dogs like corgis, and the sweet, cute dogs like the poodles, and people keep that, and they are called the therapy dogs there. So, but why do we need? It's good. We should keep dogs. But why do we even need dogs for therapy? Are human beings and the love human being that was not enough? So that's the head start that I get. What do you have to add, Sovik? I just have to take a phone call from my dad. You can continue. I'll
Yes,
just
yes, yes,
pause for
yes,
a
yes, 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 of course. So, as brother Reverend Biwaswan Chakraborty is saying that we nowadays we also, some people need therapy dogs for their treatment. Now, are human beings that incapable to access the blissful nature that is within us? And that is a very important question. And as we know, today's topic is formality versus normality. If we look around, every relationship that we see, the relationship between a man and a woman, the relationship between the parents and the child, the relationship between a teacher and a student, all has turned into some kind of formal game. Now, to an extent, this formal game or the formal endeavor is very important because it helps us create a structure, it helps us develop an organization, an organized way of life. But if this if this overwhelms if this overwhelms the normal human behavior, now what is the normal human behavior? Normal human behavior is the nature of consciousness. By consciousness we mean responsiveness, how we interact with each other. Now if this interaction is not normal, then we cannot be called as humans. We can see how a tiger interacts with his counterparts. We can see that when a tiger's tummy is full, he is contented. He does not need any more hunting to go for. But it is not the same for human beings. For us, there is always a tendency of going out of control, and this is a good possibility as well, because it is for the high end machines, it is for the high end appliances that can create complex problems. Since the human mind is such an important tool, such a complicated computer, it is so hard and so easy to create difficulties. And that's why we create so many problems in our lives. Now, this formality versus normality should never have been our topic, because Formality is an outcome of normality. When we are normal in our life and we ascend in the play of our life, the formality comes naturally. Today tomorrow we have a puja in our house, and that requires a formal way of gesture, a formal gesture to welcome other people, to feed them, to give them prasad, and all other things. That's a formal way. But what is the source of that formal outcome? The source of that formal outcome, the cause of that formal outcome, is my normal devotion, is my normal regard to our culture, is a normal maintenance of my generational outpour. So formality should have been an extension of the normality, not the other way around. But as Dada was speaking, that nowadays we are so much succumbed with the way of the life that our external fields give us, that we have distorted the normal sense of human being that is already within us. Now, regarding this, I would like to again give this mic to Vivaswanda so that he
Yes.
can extend a bit more. Yes.
Yes. Confirming 1 second, Shavik. I hope there is no noise and it's fine.
Yeah, there is a little bit noise, but okay, that'll do if you are
Okay.
voice is high.
Yeah. Okay. I will try to suppress that. Anyways, I don't think that will
Yes,
be
yes,
much of a disturbance. Okay.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. You can
Yeah.
speak on. Yes.
So as I was saying, Sovik, about the human brain and the complexity of the human brain that human brain has got, and it is prone to errors, right? So I would like to share an incident when I was in my school. One of my respected teachers, I would like to take his name and offer my pranam to him, because of him I have learned a lot today. His name is Subit Chakraborty sir, and I hope sir watches this session and he acknowledges that. So he explained me about computer programming, and I was having a lot of difficulties in understanding the coding. So he said that if you want to make a calculator, just take two empty buckets, add numbers, add those, and the result you put in the third bucket. And then I said, why are you explaining me with buckets? I don't see buckets in computer code. He said, understand computer language as the human brain. Computer has been inspired from the human brain. So a slight of miscalculation, even in the computer, gives a lots of errors. And a slight of miscalculation, even in the human brain, can lead to disasters. We can see examples in cricket, miscalculation of timings can lead to bowled out or catch out. So we are prone to errors. So similarly, miscalculation and misunderstanding of things can lead to devastations. And as you said, we never wanted the topic to be this topic, formality versus normality. Now, why is that a very important thing you said? Because it is happening nowadays. We are not normal. Whenever we see something normal, we face, is that person different? Whenever we, even in the web series, if you see, when we see a character who is very quiet, normal, and who is thinking for benefit of others out of nothing in return, a children in a school who wants their friends to grow, who wants them to be lovable, he or she is neglected in the school, and people say he or she is different. Why? Because out of love and out of affection, which a normal human being should have without anything in return, is not found these days, and that is a very big problem. Now, when we look at life of an ideal, we say is abnormally normal. Why? Because the ideals and all the past Purushottams that we have seen, what matters to them is love and the well-being of others. Because when we see other, or when we see par in Hindi, paropkari, they can't understand that. Why is it that? Because they cannot think anyone out of their own self. It's like everything is one for them. And why we call them Purushottam? Because Purushottam means the fulfiller, the supreme fulfiller, the master who will fulfill everyone and make you feel like one. The together, the oneness will be achieved that way. And that is the normal thing. Now, I have had a lot of incidents. So when we were off for 1 year, when Master Vidin was off for 1 year, as Shavik, you very well know that I had been traveling alone. And even right now I'm doing so. I met a lot of people, and I saw in the places where there is no lot of technology, or there is lack of, advancement in infrastructure. The people are still normal there. And when I say normal, it's like they don't want anything in return when they show and they, propagate love towards the guest or towards the people. And why do we like that? Why do people say travel solo? Because you will find good people in life. How is that possible? Because when you travel alone, you learn a lot of things. You see people.
There was a new video of Pankaj Tripathi. He said that if
Yeah,
there is yeah,
I can say that in
there's a-
Hindi. So Pankaj Tripathi
yes,
was
yes.
saying that मैंने पूरा देश घूमा है. Pankaj Tripathi is a great actor, who is a very underrated actor, and he has a lot to. We have a lot to learn from his life and the way he presents himself as an actor and also as a citizen and a human being. He said कि one person in the interview was asking, आप क्या सलाह देना चाहेंगे आजकल के यूथ को? तो आजकल के यूथ means the new generation that's coming up. He said मैं बहुत घूमा हूँ, मैं पूरा देश अकेले घूमा हूँ. और मैं ये सलाह देना चाहूंगा कि बच्चे घूमे, पूरा देश घूमे, स्लीपर में, जनरल बोगी में ट्रेवल करें, ज्यादा सोफिस्टिकेटेड लोगों से न मिले. Because that's how what will happen when a person will travel alone that way. They will find people alone, okay, and they will find offbeat places. They will go to rural areas. They will find simplicity in people, and that's when there is simplicity, there is love. Okay, when there is no complication in the brain, when there is nothing like I want something in return, then only I will talk to someone. I didn't call him. When there is no expectation of profit and there is only propagation of love, that's how we will understand. One will understand the beauty that human brain has got. Now each and every one of us is capable of doing. We are human beings. We are Homo sapiens. And the best part, we are, when we say that, the supreme of others, is because we have that beauty of the brain that we have got. We can actually understand others' pain. Even the animals do, but we can do it much better. But we are actually losing that out of fake understanding of things, materialism, and expectation of profit in return. People lose friends when they grow. People lose, loved ones, close ones, near ones. We have social media to connect people, but the painful thing is that we only expect likes and shares in return of in a profile. If nobody does that, they're sad. But we will need social media profile if you're an individual. You can meet people. We should try to see how our past prophets have done that. So I would like to take the example of Prophet Muhammad. So I read a very famous story in my childhood. So when Prophet Muhammad was going somewhere one day, and there was one lady who didn't like him at all, and every day she used to throw waste garbage on him. She used to throw the dustbin on his head, and he didn't react anything, and he just went. And one fine day, he realized that nothing just came on me, or nobody threw garbage on me. So he thought there must be something wrong with the lady who has, Muhammad. Sorry, so about Muhammad, calling him Muhammad first. So Prophet Muhammad thought that there must be something wrong with the lady who used to throw garbage on me, or let's find out why didn't she do that today. Now it's not that he wants that to happen. It's the love and affection that he has got for human beings, the care that even if somebody is showing hatred, he is still caring about him. And he went in the hospital and he saw that the lady is not keeping well, and he took the appropriate measures by which she could have been better. So this kind of love that a Purushottam can have for others is actually abnormally normal that we find it. So what is the key takeaway from this incident? Is the sense of love and affection that one possesses for others. And that's why he is the Purushottam. That's why the meaning of Purushottam is the fulfiller. That's why he's fulfilling everybody's life, the love. Whatever we see in their life, you can see it in all the past prophets that we have got. Prabhu Sri Ram, that why did Hanuman, God Lord Hanuman, is so bhakt towards Ramchandra, and why was Arjun so dedicated to Sri Krishna? The positive sense of force that he had in his life, the thinking about others' well-being out of nothing in return, is what is very normal that we should try to develop and try to learn. What would you like to add, Suvik? Is Is it fine? Is my audio and everything is okay?
Yes, your audio is better than before, but I think since you're outside, this much is acceptable.
Okay.
So while you were saying that thing, I just remembered a story that one day a normal man, normal in our sense, a sane man, entered a prison, a prison for mad people, asylum, you can say. That person went to an asylum, and all the all the mad, crazy people inside that asylum were shouting, and they said that this man is crazy. When the normal man entered into the asylum, all the mad people of the world started shouting at him and said that this is a crazy man. Why is he wearing shirt? Why is he not tearing his own shirt apart? Why is he not using slangs? Then this man must be a mad one. Because inside that asylum, everyone is already mad. Everyone's vision is already distorted. That's why the person who is there, the normal person who entered into the field, to treat them is seen as the madman by them. The same thing happens when a realized person enters into our realm, and we, the mad, the sick people, when we get his company, we call him extraordinary. We call him miraculous. We call him something not normal. And that is not because of his high standard, but that is because our low standard. Because we have distorted ourselves. We have reduced our level we have reduced the consciousness to such a level that we can see the normal man as if he is something extraordinary. When we say extraordinary, it actually means extraordinary. The level of normality that a person, that the fulfiller, the ideal shows in his daily life is impeccable. We have never seen a man in whom the childishness and the maturity lives in the same side of the coin. We cannot comprehend such a man. And just because we cannot comprehend such a man, we cannot fathom and we cannot articulate that man in a book, or we cannot articulate that man in words. That's why we need a physical or a psychophysical company with that man. That's why the company of ideal, the company of lovers of existence is so much necessary in today's world. This company of lovers of existence, in short, is called satsang. Now today we can see so many events happening in the name of satsang. So we can see religious events in the name of satsang. But the true meaning of satsang was, sat means existence and sang means company. So satsang actually means the company of lovers of existence. So how can we love existence? Now what is this loving and without any loving without any expectation? It sounds nice, but what is the reality behind it? We've heard Shri Thakur, the ideal or master, that Anukul Chandra, our master, the name of our master is Thakur Anukul Chandra. His original name is Anukul Chandra Chakraborty. So Sri Thakur, master, these things are synonymous by all those names we mentioned to that man, Anukul Chandra Chakraborty. So one day, master was asked that, Thakur, you serve so many people. You do so much for the environment, yet you do not propagate that, you do not advertise that. And Thakur said, Porupokar ki jinish ami ta jibone jantei parlam na. What do we mean by serving others? This statement I have never experienced in my life. Now, is he playing humble? Is he showing his humility? Absolutely not. Because he's a normal person. He's like a child, as open as nature. We have not seen anything hiding him hiding anything, any of his attributes. He's as open as a child. yet as smart as the oldest man alive. He says that I've never understood what is meant by social service because I have not done any. Then what do I do? The thing is that I cannot feel anything as others. I cannot feel any other apart from myself. Just like when my right hand gets hurt, my left hand comes to serve it. When my tummy gets hurt, my hands goes to take medicine, and my mouth.
Automatic sensory motor things.
Yes, or
automatically.
auto sensory motor coordination for its well-being. Similarly, this all things, all structure is integrated with me. I'm all conscious of all of things. So this totality is the normality. For a tree, the tree does not know what is oxygen, what is nitrogen physically like us, but the tree knows its essence because it is the normal generational way of life for the tree. And we are so advanced that we have created some formal infrastructure, like we have created a formal education system, and that is necessary. And the tree cannot do that. For that, tree need to evolve. But in that pursuit of formality, in the pursuit of invention, we have forgotten the important part, that is the life. The life is never formal. The life is as it is. We can take it as formal. Just to add a little thing, like Dada, who is a UX designer, who's an experienced designer. There are also like graphics designer and sort. So the UX designer and graphics designer, these people, they need to draw some things, and they have to, like I'm talking the example of a graphics designer. They have to draw many things. They have to create designs for their clients so that they can be conducive for their business. But this sense of aesthetic, this sense of beauty, the sense of drawing, it is not just the formal, it is not a formal exercise for the clients. The sense of aesthetic literature, the sense of aesthetic artistry, it is the normal way of human endeavor. It is the normal way of enjoyment for human beings. But that thing developed cumulatively to give rise to a formal system. And that formal system is the design that the world we are seeing. Like for the first time, the science was invented, the science was discovered. It was for our own well-being. But by working upon that, we have created a fine structure, a human civilization. Now, what happened? Due to our lack of control of our spirit, what we did, we have been benumbed and succumbed by the formality, and we have lost the true spirit of life. That's why the whole system is becoming a burden for us. So it is not just formality versus normality. The formality is standing upon the normality. Now, if the normality is washed away, the building of formality will crumble. All the forms that we see, all the organizations that we see, they would crumble, because at the end of the day, everything is run by human beings. The human beings are run by their human minds, which is also controlled by their human body. So if bodies, mind, and spirit are not taken in charge, if they are not bound to such a master, such a mastery, such a capability, then that's going to be a huge problem. That is going to be like a driver, like a drunk driver driving a car, because the driver does not know how to drive it properly in the road. The driver does not have a proper sense of traffic. And that driver, how to become a proper driver of this machine, and this machine in turn, the whole system that we are in, we need an ideal, as Dada was speaking, because he is the embodiment. He has shown us how to be, how to become, and how to live. So to augment this topic, I would like to ask Dada for further information.
Yes, thank you, Sovik. It was a brilliant explanation. So I was just thinking how beautifully you gave the example of the driver thing and how the thing drives. I would like to add some more examples, and that might be really helpful for some of the young viewers that we have who are working. Okay, consider a piece of code. Even you will understand that story. So in basic programming coding, to end the code or line of code, you put a semicolon. That's a syntax. Okay. Now, we all use softwares, WhatsApp, and everything, right? We all use all these things. So every Friday, they push it to the cloud so that when you get in your mobile the updates, when you see the updates, it is actually the developers in WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook pushing it to the cloud, and you're getting a notification that a new thing has come up. Now, what might happen if one small semicolon is missed? The whole system will fail. Okay. So that small semicolon acts as a very important driver of the complete code to function properly. Okay.
Indeed.
So let's understand that even our small actions that we do, the behavior that we possess, how we interact with others, the people whom we live with, the people whom we work with, even our small action and behavior drives a lot of things for the relationship that we are trying to build with that person. Okay. The moment we are calculative and the moment we are only concerned about our own benefits from the people who love, our friends in the workplace or even anywhere, that's the moment maybe the whole relationship might or the friendship may not get affected, but the person who is doing that will start developing negative entities there, negativity. Okay. And that's why the small actions are important on a daily basis. And the best example that our master has given is sustaining Ishtabhriti that we do, that we have been discussing in our previous topics. Now, Jaj and Ishtabhriti, when we say, how are these things important for the person who is, interacted with the ideal? How are the actions important? Even slight discontinuation of such actions or even slight wrong way of doing things may lead to disasters which we will never understand. Few months back, there was the news of a 123-year-old man who got an award from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Correct me, Sovik, I am not able to recognize the exact award. That was Padma Bhushan Award or Lifetime Achievement Award or something like that.
I don't know. It will be Padma Shri, I think.
Padma Shri Award. Okay. So I was seeing a YouTube video wherein that man is getting interviewed and he's asked, what is the key for this? And how do you, maintain this kind of fitness even at the age of 123?
I think you're the Shivananda you're talking about.
Yes, that old man.
He's a Bengali, by the way.
Okay. You know what he said? He talked about thoughts. Okay. He said that the actions are definitely important. He is a pure vegetarian person who is having the sattvic ahar that our Rishi Munis long back, before we even realize, used to have. We can see that, just as a reference, if somebody watches Mahabharata who is not into these things, how the Pandavas used to live when they were, growing up under the guidance of Sri Dronacharya Guru, what kind of lifestyle they used to maintain. So you can see, so that kind of basic things he's maintaining. And he said that I have never had anything negative about anyone. I always wish the well-being of others. And I have been listening this from my grandmother also. The amount of positivity that such people carry is that it's what we need to learn. The thing about always the betterment of others and how can others be good, the wellness of others. So that is actually very normal, that we are not trying to practice these days, and that's where all the problems are coming to the picture. We have had topics on depression, we have had topics about second thought, we have had topics about Ishtabhriti, holy offering. So if you remember, we did that last year. So how these play a very important role and how maintaining these actions in the light of an ideal play a very important role in being a very normal human being is also something that we need to keep in mind and discuss, of course, if not today, in the coming sessions later on. I just wanted to add that. So what are your thoughts? And noise cancellation check once again.
Indeed, yes. And an important thing that if you look at it in a scientific way as well, that just a few moments ago we were talking about raising our consciousness. If we don't raise our consciousness, we cannot see others as an extension of ourselves. which is the very important thing, because no one has to teach mother to be normal to her child. She's always normal. Why? Because she can literally feel her child as an extension of herself. And this sense of consciousness, this awakening of consciousness, is not permanent for everyone. It comes and goes, and it's just like our muscular system. If we give proper exercise, if we do take proper diet, we can maintain that kind of figure. And same goes for our mind, same goes for our psychophysical activities. To attain that level of consciousness, to access that level of consciousness that is already within us, we also have to do certain exercises. We have to do those exercises unless and until that way of life becomes normal for us.
Yes,
As
yes.
same as that physical. And
Yeah.
that kind of exercise includes jajan, jajon, and ishtopi.
Just one small, sorry to interrupt,
Yes,
one
yes,
thing
of
came
course,
into
of
my
course.
mind. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Question to the viewers and to you, Souvik, also. You buy a Lamborghini Diablo, very costly car. Okay, the best engine it has got in the world. What happens if you put very cheap quality oil into that, or you do not
Indeed.
maintain that? Will it function
Indeed.
normally? What is normal for a Lamborghini Diablo or a Ferrari or a Ford to run smoothly, to have the pickup, when the driver will not face any difficulties? What is abnormal for that? To sound like a tractor or a bulldozer. Okay. So we become what we eat, we become what we do, we become what we practice regularly. So that's why these actions are applicable to our life also, to act normally. The food that we eat, the thoughts that we possess in our brain, the amount of love that we should have for our near and dear ones, and the amount of sense of well-being that we should definitely have for the people we work with, for our family, friends, and of course, whatever the principles that we learn from our ideal. You can continue. So.
Yes. That's what I was saying. That the necessity of those exercises that Dada was speaking, jajon, jajon, ishtobriti, shostoyani, shodachar. Those kind of exercises. Jajon means self-culture. Jajan means infusing your ideal in others, exalting them. And Ishtobriti is the daily offering that we do. And the daily offering is not like giving money, it has something else incorporated into it. We have to understand that. We have those videos, we'll see that. And then comes Shostoyani. Shostoyani is comprised of 5 sets of principles that can automatically develop the good way of life, the habits that can make a life, the natural way of life, into an elevated state. That is called Swasthayani. Shu plus Usti plus Oyam. That means good way to live. And then comes Sadachar. Sadachar is already included. That is to maintain proper mental, physical, and spiritual hygiene. All these things are okay. But these are mere philosophy. These are mere ideas. I have read so many books. But those books, they constituted of so many ideas. They mean nothing to me if I cannot relate to them. Just a small example. That when I read something, I say, wow, what a good speech this is. This is exactly right. Just think, how could we say, if I read a new thing, then how can I say, okay, this is right? I can say, because I knew it in my brain somewhere. I already knew the answer, and I found a verification outside. Similarly, no matter how beautiful ideas or beautiful philosophies we have with our life, it means nothing if we don't get a verification outside. If we don't, we can speak of consciousness for long and wide, but unless we can see an extraordinarily normal person outside who is normally super conscious, we cannot get the verification of that seeking we are already doing. And that is the ideal. There are so many different kind of propagations, so many kind of propaganda in the name of the ideal, because this is a very conducive topic for business. Many people turn it into a religious hooby-goobies, but that is not our subject. If we see the image of Lord Shiva, Wherever there is Lord Shiva, there is a snake. If we look into the image of Ma Durga, wherever there is Ma Durga, there is the Ashura. So we have to be very much conscious, very much active about, and concerned and attentive, alert about this thing, that we have to take the right thing. I can speak about ideal, but you have to verify it with the scripture, with the life of the ideal himself. Then only you can get the verified truth. In this sense, when we say Shastra, the term Shastra actually means Shashon Koreja. He who gives me, he who controls me, that which rebukes me when I do wrong, that which regulates me. So Shastra, if we don't verify Shastra, and if we don't verify others in the light of that Shastra, then it is very hard. It is very hard to get the right way. For mere small things like buying shirt, buying a mobile phone, we do so many verifications, isn't it? But why not in terms of ideal? We also have to be, if not equally, we have to be more concerned and more alert about finding the ideal of our life, and see the persons who are following him, because they carry the embodiment of the examples of how to be in the light of that spirit. This is very important. As Dada said, I would like to give this to Dada to continue. I think we have covered the topic wide and large, so we can accept some questions. And I think this normal topic is too normal for you to understand, but it only requires a certain amount of need, a certain amount of seeking to relate to this topic, isn't it?
Yes, Souvik, greatly said. I would just like to take up one question by Golu B. We have here Jai Guru. Acceptance makes us normal. Am I right saying so? So this question, the answer is hidden in the question itself. It's like, what are you accepting? That's the first thing. Where is that acceptance or that thought is coming from? That is very important. Is it coming from an abnormally normal ideal, or is it coming from a concentric, personality that we must have in life as an ideal? And just accepting is nothing without the action, even if it's coming from the correct ideal. Our first session in Master Within, after the break that we had, talked about belief versus action. So whenever we believe, that is fine, but unless and until we try and put some actions in that, it is of no use, because it's the action that makes you. When Arjuna was having a dilemma in Mahabharata, in the youth, before the youth, he said to Lord Sri Krishna that I'm unable to understand what to do. I see all my near and dear ones here. How can I fight them? मैं कैसे लड़ूं? मतलब when I see Dronacharya, I see my guru. When I see Bhishma, I see my great grandfather. How can I even fight them? And then Lord Shri Krishna explains him with the ultimate truth that is in the Bhagavad Gita, and he explains, don't you see Adhan there? Dhanush uthao aur yudh karo. So actions, we have to take the actions, believe in the correct thing from an idea, and take the proper actions and keep on doing that. That's how it is all done. That's all I had to say, Shobhik. If it is making sense, you can add some more to it.
Indeed, I think the answer was complete. And the line that he's saying, that acceptance make us normal, that kind of thing, as it is going in today's trend, that we need to accept more people, we need to this. I'm saying this kind of trends only because I see whenever we lack something, we give it a higher place. Like when we are not getting enough love, according to us, we say that okay, love is the supreme, love is the God, and these things. Yes. And when we say that we are not getting enough respect, the people are commenting using their status. They say that I need nothing but respect in life. These kind of comments actually points out the thing that they are not giving to the society. People say that I need, that there is a song, Kichu Chaini Ami Ajibon Bhalobasha Chara, that these kind of new songs are coming up. When are you going to love the society, others? When are you going to love others? Why are we always saying that I am not getting enough love? What is this? Who are you loving then? Does love accept anything, require anything? Did mother ever think? Did mother ever think that I love my child because he loves me? Never. Love has always been one-sided thing. But the beauty of love is this: when this goes on, the reciprocation already comes, automatically comes. So love without expectation is the love. There is no other dual love kind of thing. This acceptance that
Yes.
we are saying, we have to accept others first.
Yes.
This is the normal way of life, and the others will accept me automatically, because we will become their shartha kendra. We will become their fodder for life. If I become their fodder, they have no way to leave me out of the picture.
Correct. Correct. Very correctly said, Shovik. I echo that completely,
Yes.
whatever you said. And we have one more very interesting question from Daman Vatanda Chakraborty Jayaguru. So he's asking how we can identify that normal people among these human beings who guided us towards the path of truth or living ideal. What will be his characteristics according to the master? It's a very good question, and I think Souvik, you in a way kind of answered this question already, right, when you were explaining the previous answer. If I can quickly add two lines, and I will pass on the mic
Of
to
course.
you. How can you identify that normal people among these human beings who guided us towards the path of a truth or living ideal? What will be the characteristics according to the master? So first we'll have to understand the master. We will have to have that sense of awakening our mastery within, wherein we accept the master, and we have to dedicate ourselves, and then identify the one acharya who is actually carrying the light which master has given for the people, for the human being. Now, carrying the light doesn't mean just holding the light. Carrying the light means having those characteristics inside and practicing those, so that is propagated to the people in the proper way. Okay, so reaching to the ideal through that person is what we should identify. Now, how will I identify? The one who will follow the master's principle, the one who will not have a sense of calculative mindset that they're doing in something for return. Okay, that sense of identification we should have to develop within ourselves. We should have that quality that we are able to identify that person. For that, we'll have to know our master well, because if we do not know our master well, we cannot identify the person or the medium through which I will actually learn more about my master, or the person who will be responsible for sharing or propagating the thoughts and the principles that the master had. So that's what I wanted to say. You can add more, and we can have quite a discussion to answer this, or if that made sense.
Yes. I think after this we can conclude as well.
Yes,
And
correct.
yes. And the question is very much answered by what Dada said. And if you have to choose who are the people who are guiding, who will guide us toward the living ideal, I also like to ask another question, that we ask so many things. I mean, we are so much automatically queer and automatically intelligent when it comes to our personal belongings.
Yes.
We don't need to ask anyone how to choose an iPhone. We are
Yeah.
smart enough to search the YouTube and all other places and find the best things. But when it comes to acceptance of the master, we are always so much concerned and seeking for help.
Calculative. Yeah.
Yes, calculative. Exactly what Dada said. I'm just augmenting the things that already he said. That he says calculative. This calculative, by he's not saying that not to measure what is right and wrong. By this he's saying, why are we like so much formal, so much official regarding these things? When it comes to puja, people are like paap ho jayega, isn't it? Like if I don't do this, then God will rebuke me. God will give me shrap. Which god you are worshipping? If the god is giving you shrap all the time for little difficulties, then who are you worshipping? I mean, we have to understand that in the right context, that shrap is not like that. If I do something that is against the law of nature, that is the shrap by itself, isn't it? Suppose I'm not supposed to touch the fire, and if I touch the fire, then of course it's going to hurt me. I'm not supposed to break a fixed deposit without any reason, and I did that. Then of course it is a kind of pap.
Brilliant.
If I
Brilliant.
for eating pizza, then it is not like God is there to rebuke us and give us shrap all the time. I mean, that's a kind of formality that we are seeing nowadays very much. And Dada
Yes.
was saying that in terms of that calculative sense, we have to be calculative, but this sense of calculative must come from our normal consciousness. And by this you just check out your master, what he says, and see the people who are preaching the master as he is, as he said,
As he
without any
is.
compromisation. Yes, as he said. And
Okay,
action and
one
inaction.
action, one small, sorry to interrupt, Sovik, but one fun example. Okay, when we go to, when we repair very costly product like an Apple, we check whether it's an Apple authorized service center or not. If we
Yes,
don't
yes.
go to the, any daily market or any small, like
Exactly.
stores, mobile repair. Why we check that? We see, and how we see that it's an Apple authorized service center? Do we see that Apple has said, or do we see the reviews? Do we see the ratings? I'm not asking to see review as a rating of a human being who's preaching master principles. By this example, I'm trying to relate and make you understand that whatever Apple says, is it followed by that store or that service center?
Exactly.
Similarly, we
And
have to see whatever the master says, is that person following without any dilution in the thoughts or whatever master has said? Because if there is no dilution, then that is selfless, that is master concentric. If that is master concentric, it is like he's trying to be towards the normal things that master said without calculative mindset. Without calculative mindset means his everything relates to master. His profit is for the master's profit. His betterment means master's thoughts betterment. Everything related to that. So by that, we'll have to identify the person, and to understand that person, we'll first have to understand the master, read his literature, implement those in the life, and understand the master. Then only we'll be able to see whether that person is following or not. Because when you use an iPhone, when you understand all the parts, then it is very clear and very good and very original. That's how you understand whether the Apple dealer is giving you the correct parts or not. Exactly, we'll have to understand, spend time for the master's principle that he has said for the betterment of human beings, and propagate that and implement this. That's all.
I think and the Dada Golubi Dada says that he got the answer.
Yeah.
And
Okay, hopefully
yeah.
Chakravarti
Yes,
also got,
so
but yeah.
so I
Anyways,
think we can conclude.
we can conclude. I think that was all we had to say, and we don't want this kind of topic to be a go-to topic, because when we say formality versus normality, that means normality is going away and we are becoming formal. And we don't want that, because we don't want a situation like Terminators that happened. If you have seen the Terminator, it's like machines are taking over the humans. We don't want that. And before we conclude, Deveshda has asked a question. Okay, Jai Guru Deveshda. Godliness as a natural feature is perhaps inherent in human beings. Still, the manifest master largely remains unknown, and I acknowledge. Why is it so? Sovik.
And the last one, he says, largely unknown, and I think it would be unacknowledged. I think. Yes. He corrected that. Okay.
Yeah.
Unacknowledged. Yes. Now, will you answer this?
Is inherent in human beings, still the manifest largely remains unacknowledged. Why? I think if I try to understand this in a simple way, and to answer why it is unacknowledged, is because we want something in return, then only we acknowledge. Okay. We are not doing it in a normal way. We are being creative. That's the immediate thought that came into mind. But I want you to drive this to see what you have got. Then only I can answer it.
Yes. So this unacknowledged thing, there are many ways to answer this, I think. Yeah. First of all, the master, the true man, the true living ideal is a normal man. He's never that saffron robe wearing that kind of people. He's a normal man, came to live as a normal life, to show us the way how to be. If he marries, he lives the life exactly as it should be done, so that we can see and point out that, okay, he did. And he showed us that in amidst all these kind of problems, amidst all the difficulties that I say I have, he is such a blissful being. How is it so? By seeing, we can set an example. And this brings a problem. Because when we follow him, it is a quite uncompromised way of living. He is so clever and he's so much ready to adjust ourselves, to adjust our inside, that we find it very difficult often, because we have to change ourselves. And that is the worst thing for our complexes and passions. They don't want us to change. They just want us to drive along their way. But the problem is there, it is that we all love jumping from high places. That wind will keep coming, wind will keep coming. But there is a problem, that we will eventually reach the ground and we will smash our head. I think you are getting the point. Why do people go for those diving, from skydiving? It feels nice to have the air. But the difficulty is that if we follow the passions like that, we will eventually smash into the ground. So we cannot follow the passions. That's why we need ideal. And when ideal comes, he adjusts us in such a way, he adjusts our being inside out in such a way that we are bound to change. We are bound to change from this abnormal, obnoxious way of living to a normal, delightful way of godhood personality that is already inherent within us.
Yes.
And how can we know that? Who is going to break that barrier that we are creating between me and that real God or real ideal? Who is going to interpret that? For that, we need devotees, disciple
Indeed.
devotees. And those disciple devotees are the harbingers of peace. They're the carriers of the master. That's why master said, strongest the girdle, mightiest the prophet. The master that we are saying, that the significance of the master is such, whenever the devotees are active. See the Banar Sena of Lord Ram. See Hanuman. Just smashed everything that came into their place. And that's why the Lord Ram, Maryada Purushottam, was that much famous. He built the Meluha, the Ram, the Ram kingdom, Ram Rajya. But again, see the life of Jesus Christ. What happened to him? He had devotees, but the devotees were so much afraid, and I'm not disrespecting any of them, because later, after the crucifixion and all that, they also worked hard. They changed the world. So every prophet has their own way of playing. So one day when Jesus Christ came, the help that he was getting was so much uncontrolled and was so much incomplete, that what happened is that he had to be crucified for speaking the truth. But what we see, when his mission gained the momentum, within 200 to 300 years, now see, the world is full of Christianity. So eventually people knew. And this goes for I think all of the prophets. Because like Lord Ramakrishna, see Lord Ramakrishna, when he was there, nobody knew who is Ramakrishna.
Yes,
When
correct.
Vivekananda preached and did that kind of things, now people know him. But there is one thing, that even if people know, then what is happening? The continuity has been lost. That's why he has to come again and again. That is
Practice. And as you mentioned about the devotee is very important. Harbinger of peace, they will have to continue that. Okay. It's like head start, but you need to maintain that inertia and the force to carry that on. So that's where our role also comes into the picture. And one more thing I just wanted to answer in a way is that the sense of normality is missing. I think that's why things are remain acknowledged. Like did we have gyms back in 200-300 years ago? Did we have protein powder at that time? Or did we have smartwatches even 15 years ago to calculate how much steps we are walking? It was normal for us walking. Now the rate of heart attack in the youths have increased so much because there's abnormality in lifestyle. We have to buy a gadget to see how much we are walking, and that is, people are finding it funny, but that's the sad truth is it's abnormal because it was used to be normal once, and right now you actually need a device to track your steps. So that way, the lifestyle that we are, getting habituated towards, it's like that. So I just gave that example to relate. Similarly, that normal human being, how normal human being should be, we are not trying to understand that, and that we can only see into such enlightened masters. So, yeah.
Yes, I think our time is up as well.
Our time
Like
is up.
we have crossed that 1 hour.
Over
uh,
first 1 hour,
and
yes.
and another small thing, like just as Dada said just now, talking about smartwatches and all, when we lose the normality, in the normal way it is necessity that drives the invention, but when we lose that normality, it is our passions that drive the inventions.
Yeah.
We are trying to making internet faster, we are trying to making the sofas more beautiful, but are those necessary? We are having other problems, but we are trying to make the sofa more beautiful. Why? Because people's passions are craving that I am
So,
richer, these kind of things. And just a peek into Debesh Das question. Debesh Das speak into his question that still the manifest master largely remain unknown. And this is there is another point in this, I would say, that even though the master is largely unknown and unacknowledged, the effects of his actions are spread far and wide. There are many people who don't know Krishna. There are many people who don't know Agastya Muni. But if you go into the South India, you can see the principles of dharma are incorporated in such a scientific way that in their normal way of brushing their teeth, they are following the dharma. So the effect of master is so large and wide that incorporated in such a vicious way that you cannot match his intelligence. He has incorporated the good. He is bound to do the good for us, and he did in such a way that we cannot even we cannot even acknowledge what he had done. I think I am able to interpret what I want to say.
yes.
That dharma,
I think
the
that was
way of
correctly
dharma,
answered.
yes, the dharma is a way of life, and he incorporated, like in the Sanatan Dharma. Nobody knows who started Sanatan Dharma, so they don't want any credit. May the master's devotee want him to be acknowledged, but master himself, what he did, he incorporated those principles in such normal and lucid way. He created the Manusmriti using Manu in such a way that that his principles were being followed, and we as human civilizations are being benefited from that.
Yes.
I think
I
time
think
is
that was
very
very
much up.
nicely answered. I think Devasda has also said Jai Guru. Hopefully, he got answered.
He knew
And
the answer anyway.
he knew the answer anyway. Still, he asked. But anyway, that was great. Thank you, Devasda, for asking that. And I hope you got the answer. So we are out of time right now. And
Yes.
I think it was helpful. It was a pretty productive session. I hope we were able to make sense of the topic that we just shared today in the light of an ideal. That is very important. In the light of an ideal, whatever we discussed is from the eyes of the Supreme Father, the Master, the Purushottam, the fulfiller, because that's what we need to understand what normal is, because it's abnormally normal. So there's a couple of more comments. I would like to say thank you everyone for the comments, and since we are unfortunately out of time, we would like to take those up in the coming sessions, but I really respect and thank a lot for participating and asking the questions in the comment. And I hope
And-
you enjoyed the session.
And we are coming every week. We are coming live every week, most probably
Live
every
every
week.
week.
And you can also text us and let us know that which topic you want us to speak. And we are already ready for questions. Questions give us right direction, isn't it, Dada? Otherwise, we are out
Very
of
important.
Yes.
Because we are
out of
discussing, it's a
context.
productive session. We are enjoying talking, and we need
Yes.
someone like Deves and Panda to help us come back to what we are. So thank you, and Jai Guru to you for that.
Okay.
So anyways,
Okay, then thank you.
We will be uploading this video in YouTube. So share that with your loved ones who might want to see. The YouTube link we'll be sharing in the Master Within official page. Subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned and follow Master Within, and let us awaken the Master Within. Jai Guru.